These £100 will multiply more than that of £100. If I did, I'll give £1,000 worth of prayer and then give £100 cash that I could afford. And that helped me, honestly, because he was the first to tell me that I had to budget my office. So putting all my family members on budget, really helped. Even till today, everybody's on budget, including my wife. You want more? Go make more. Make your own money and spend it the way you want. It's your choice. Okay? But me, you're on budget with me.
Wow. That's serious.
But I love the realness there, and just even sharing what it was like for you, for example, with your dad.
Yeah.
You didn't have to share that with us, but you did, and that really sends a message, because you can get to a stage where there are so many people pulling on you, and you have to make that decision, especially if you're an entrepreneur, because, if the income coming in is not set in stone, and when you're at the building stage, you have to be really disciplined and quite shrewd, actually, to say, you know what, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Yeah. Joanna, I know I saw your hand up. Do you have a question before I ask a question? You can come off mute and ask, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for hosting, and thank you, Dr. Stephen, for being here and giving us gold nuggets. My question is, don't know how to start off, but so I know there's this urge in me to start a business, and I like to sing. I'm a singer, and one of the things that I've noticed is that people often came to me and asked me, "Okay, Joanna, can you teach me singing?" And even when I was doubting myself, I told them that but I was not classically trained to be a vocal coach. They would still be like, "Yeah, but still, I want you to teach me." To fast forward it, at some point I thought, okay, Joanna, write a concept, and what would you make different from other vocal coaches? And at the same time, I was also thinking, because I knew that I wanted to bring a solution, or something that I could reach as many people as possible, and then I defined a concept in a way that I would not only want to teach how to better sing or to sing more freely, but to teach what the reasons are why we battle with certain things, and that is a mindset. And my approach is to change the mindset of singing in order to be free, and that's summed up my concept. And in my head, I'm like, okay, Joanna, should you go with this business idea, or because in general I like to be creative, doing stuff and creating nice things, but then I would think, okay, but to have passion in something is one thing, but to have talent is another. And the whole time I felt like the only thing I was good at is, in a way, just, when I sing. And then other than that, I struggle to have confidence in other abilities. But the teaching is something where I think there may be something. And so I have been thinking, is this a sign from God? And then how did you know that, yes, this business idea, I'm going for it? That's my question. Yeah, thank you. And sorry for the length.
Nice one. So first of all, I need to know that passion can kill. right? You know, and nobody pay for talent. People pay for skill. And what turns your talent to skill is experience, is mentorship, and the usability of it. So here's what I'm going to advise that you do. Number one, get a music mentor. If you need to pay, go ahead and pay, you know, who can mentor you. Because what gives you confidence to charge and monetize your talent is that you're also paying somebody else, right? I mean, I've paid Grant Cardone over $100,000 in less than a year, right? So if I pay one man over $100,000, one man, human being, mortal man, not God, right? You and I know that I'm confident to charge others as well, isn't it? Right? Because I have paid as well. So a lot of time I even say this to people. The reason why we pay is not even necessary because what we're going to learn is so special. It's so that we can value ourselves. We can place premium. You know what it means for you to know that in a year you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to educate yourself. You know what it means? You don't carry yourself cheaply, right? Because you know I have invested in me because I'm important, right? And so that gives you a lot of confidence. Why many of us and many of you watching me can't charge well and cannot charge premium is because you're also not spending premium on yourself. You're also not paying others premium. Those who are premium, you're not paying them as well. If you pay them, now you're going to say, hey, guys, give me my money. So, Joanna, as soon as you get a music mentor and you pay for it, you will see that you'll be confident, say, hey, guys, give me my 200 pounds if you want to learn, right? Because I have also had to pay. And also, you know, poverty of the poor. Poverty makes you shy. I call it shyness of the poor, actually. I hope you know that. It's this shyness that poverty brings. Just shy. And you don't even know you're shy. It's senseless shy. Right? Because I just told you the richest man in the world, one of the richest men in the world, Bill Gates just did a video skit with a guy in Dubai here. Like trying to promote a cause or something. That's like, and then you are somewhere saying, you know, I'm shy. You know, like how much money do you have? Like you can't afford you don't have the luxury of being shy. It's rich people that should be shy. You have a business to run, you have a talent to monetize, you have money to make. And lastly, as well, is that there may be a phase of your business that you need to drop that talent. I've always had talent for acting and singing. By the way, our first movie will be going on shooting February, Tammy, or when did you push it to? February? Right? So I used to act. In fact, I'm one of the best actors when I was in university. But when I was leaving school, I had to blunt to myself. Like, there's a guy called Ramsey Noah in Nigeria. He's handsome. He's an actor, very handsome. So I said, first of all, I'm not as handsome as Ramsey Noah. So my chance of just getting leading roles, I know I'm good at acting, but I'm not. So my chance isn't that much. Now, even the Ramsey Noah, the kind of money I want to make, it doesn't have it. Right? So I said to myself, I have to face the reality. Let me do, you know, we call it, is it reverse?
Recording in
right?
progress.
Like I determine who acts what, right? And day one, I mean, with the script we have, is actually going to be a big movie, probably one of the highest selling movies in Nigeria. based on the script we have right now. So sometimes you need to let go this so-called talent, passion, go for the money. When you make the money, come back and revisit your passion.
That's amazing. That's so true. And it just reminds me of when I was speaking to people that come to me regarding books. Oh, I want to write about my story. And I'm like, no, write a book that will sell. Write a money-making book first, then come back and write about your passion. So that's that's so true. But I'm not sure if anyone else has a question before I ask something. But what I wanted to find out is you mentioned about budget.
Yeah, two Digger has one. But go ahead with yours.
Yeah, carry on, man.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't see the hands. Sorry. Okay. Well, I wanted to find out, you mentioned about budget. So what other budgets do you have, or you can, advise people to have so that they can start having those billionaire habits?
Well, I mean, you need to have budget for your giving, spiritual giving, budget for your family, budget for extended family, immediate family. Budget for shopping. I remember a time where I only shop once a year. I'm not permitted. It doesn't matter where I am. And it was funny because I remember then sometimes I would travel and then the hotels in the mall. And there are a lot of stores. I just only go to window shop, but I'm not shopping. It's not that part of time of the year when I shop. I shop once a year. Now I've broken those rules because, again, it's part of monetization that I talked about in the book. Now I have TV shows, so as a result, I can't be wearing the same clothes for the TV shows, right? I have to keep changing clothes. So now I spend a lot. I shop more than even 4 times a year. But again, monetization, there's not a show that it's going for, right? So, and the show also has his own monetization strategy. Right now, we use most of our shows to promote our business. And very soon we're still going to even have other businesses promoting through that. So you have to budget everything, really. Just budget. I'm putting it. For example, I posted a video about my pastor, and he helped me in this area. I see so many people put themselves under pressure in Africa to send their kids to the so-called best schools. Senseless, right? Senseless concept. And people borrow money and run into debt in the name of, okay, I remember saying this to my wife when we moved to a particular neighborhood. My wife said they must go to the most expensive school. I said to her, no. Did I attend the most expensive school? And I didn't turn out badly, did I? I learned how to spell the word THE in GSS1. Was that bad? Okay, and I've turned out this fine. So at this phase of our life, no, and I mean it. Today, my kids attend the best school in Ikoyi, right? But at that phase, we couldn't afford it, and there's no point stressing it. There's no point forcing it. So just understand, life is in phases, men and sizes. Live your size part-time. And some of these things that we rush to do, a time will come, we'll be able to do even way more. And so there's no point. And I think sometimes it's really not even for the children. It's just so that we can brag. It's just to please others. Say, oh, do you know my son attend this? Do you know where? It's just this bragging. And I see a lot of people do the same. A lot of elites in Nigeria, for example, are relocating out of Nigeria. Many of them don't have a proper plan. And when you ask them why, they say, my children. And I'm like, come on, you just want to brag. Yeah, we live now in Manchester, right? We live in England right now. We don't live in Africa like you guys. Right? And it's the truth. Because I've seen so many people who just finished school from the same England, from the same USA, they're looking for a job. I've seen the same people who finished from the same USA and England, they're still doing £20 an hour. right? So come on, give me a break. Leave your size pattern.
Thank you. Tube Digger, do you want to ask your question?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, just going back to what you said about saving the passion until later, thinking of making money. This is always on my mind because what I do is I absolutely love it. And I know that's probably what's holding me back, because I know because of the niche nature, and I should really be thinking of other business ventures, but I don't have any background in that at all. And I'm not lazy at all, but I do have. Let's put that on hold, the music that I love and the teaching, even the teaching of it, which does make me money, but not enough. How do I switch my mindset to do something that I've never done before, but that I know that can make money?
Good question. So the good news is that you don't need to leave your current job or your current work or your current business to build wealth. You don't. In fact, the concept of wealth creation is making money work for you. So as long as you currently have something you're doing and it brings something, it may not be enough, right? The first thing you then want to do is to sit down and say, how much do I make in a month? I'm just giving an example. Let's say it's 5,000 pounds. I'm just giving an example. Right. So where does this 5,000 pounds go? In fact, when I started this journey, the first thing I did was to list where my money goes. So assignment number one for all of you here, write down what you spend your money on. Everything, including buying candy or Starbucks coffee, just list it out. So when I listed it out, revelation number one, I discovered the demon that took my money. Because I discovered that some things I was spending money on that just don't make sense. Really, really don't make sense. Like, why would, like some of you may just be that you realize that the £2 coffee, right? Like if you multiply it, you probably do it 2 times a day or 3 times a day. By the time you just realize this is crazy. Like I could save £100, £200 from just Starbucks coffee alone, right? I could save. A friend of mine, it was this particular drink in Nigeria called Maltina, and the Maltina was going for 200 naira, and the building block was 200 naira at that time. He was building his 5-bedroom house, and he was like, "Are you kidding? Like I'm drinking the block for my house, like so." He announced to his family, no more drinking Maltina in this house. Because they used to.
Recording in progress.
I cannot afford to send my children to that. 3 of them. But it's about delayed gratification. There was a time my children attend the cheapest school in the neighborhood. Cheapest. My wife was embarrassed. She used to complain, but I told her, I said, baby, it's a phase. It's a phase, right? It's a phase. Today now, we'll move to Banana Island. I said, at this point, pick your school. Say, no wala, right? Get it? You've endured, right? You've delayed the gratification. Now have it the way you want. So you might want to then cut back on some things. I must warn you that you need to mentally be ready for it, because it might look as if suddenly your fortunes is going down, but you know what you're doing. I used to drive this particular Toyota RAV4. My friends used to mock me, and everybody were like, in fact, they used to just tell me, just have mercy on this car. We understand. Maybe the car offended you. They were making, like, we get it. This car committed a crime, come into your house. Don't have mercy. But I was busy buying more lands. I understand the game. I know exactly what I was doing. But today, those were laughing at me, and I've way gone past them, right? So cut back on some things so that you can then put some money for investment. So what do I mean? You don't want to divide that investment money into three: low risk, mid risk, and high risk investment. There are three types of investment. Some are low risk, some are mid risk, and some are high risk. So break all that into three. So as you're making your money, you're dividing it into those three. High risk is your NFT, crypto, forex, and so on and so forth. Mid and low, real estate fits into that. The low risk is treasury bills, bonds, and stuff. 100% low. Now, this model means that it may take you another 5 to 10 years to then become financially free, because you will now be financially free when your passive income is more than your active income. So what they're currently paying you right now for teaching music is your active income, right? So you are financially free when your passive income, right, pays you more than your active income. So a time will come in the next 5 to 10 years if you start doing this, right? You start putting a portion into investment every month. A time will come, what is coming out, another type of low risk is insurance, right? Life insurance. There are different types of insurance schemes that you can borrow from it, or you can even earn certain returns from it. So you want to look for all of that. But finally, I would say get an investment mentor. Okay, that's what I had to do, and that's what you should do as well. It's not going to be cheap. You have to pay, but get one. So it's your investment mentor that will almost help deliver you from procrastination, right? Because it's an agreement. We've agreed, you are dropping X amount every month. It's not to him, but, he's going to be asking you, show me the evidence. Did you do what? And sometimes we just need our accountability partner, right? And as you put it aside, he's also the one to say, okay, put this into this amount, into this type of vehicle, put this into this other type of vehicle, and gradually, together with your investment mentor, you start the journey. But the rule when it comes to investment mentor, it's not about certificate, right? It's about what he or she has done. Where I come from in Africa, they will say that whoever will design your clothes, you check the designers he or she is wearing. Right? So a lot of time we make mistakes where it's just guys who mob up, jumbo, monjo, and then we say they are mentors, and they've never achieved anything for themselves. So you don't want to fall into that trap. Like, who do I know that is rich, that has moved from zero to hero, right? And I'm just going to understudy their principles and their life, the rules to replicate the same for myself.
I do know someone like that I taught music, so he is into the same devices that I use to do my music production, and we get on well, and he supports me on social media. But I've reached out to him many times, but he is, he's into investing, crypto, day trading, everything, and that's his business. It's nothing to do with what I do. And we met in the middle, but it stopped there. What do you do in the case that, that's a separate thing, but what do you do in the case with the income that you get? There's not even enough to save.
I promise you do that list. Where is my money going to? Just list it out, right? Once you list it out, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And once you list it out, you then see, for example, some of us had to just so that we can have enough to save. You can always have enough to save. First step, list out everything you spend money on, genuinely critique it. Easy, and that's why I said, look, at some point, even people around you are going to be like worried for you, because it looks as if it's the time you're building that wealth that it looks as if you're struggling, and people are going to be really worried for you. But you're even going to be excited because you understand where you're going. You've really actually started the journey of building wealth for yourself. But there is always enough to save. Just list out and cut back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. So we have 3 hands up. So first of all, I think it was Ayola again.
Hello, sir. I hope it's not too noisy. But I just had a question, going back to if you had to start all over again, what would be your first couple of moves? Especially in today's world where we're in the internet age, there's a lot of online businesses that are becoming the modern thing. What would be your first couple of steps?
I will do what I did before, and one of my steps was to focus on being the middleman. A lot of time people bother themselves about capital. So what I had to do was I didn't have capital, so I had to be the middleman. Can I sell your product and I get a commission, right? And that's been the ways I've raised my capital. Even here in Dubai, for example, even though we had money to start development in Dubai, we had to start as a brokerage firm, right? And I'm glad we did, because we will have created a mess. We will have started and just created a mess. So what I've had to do with all my businesses, even real estate, is to first start as a broker, as an agent under another company, help them sell their products. That way I'm building my clientele base, understanding the business very well, and then I'm saving as well, right? So that it's easier. And I'm also technically raising those who eventually become my investors. Because you see, a lot of times many of us don't realize that our customers are supposed to eventually become our investors. So in many of my business, the people who bought when I was selling for another company, who were so excited. Like here in Dubai now, by the time we start our development, we've sold to several people who will be so happy for us and say, oh, finally,